Okay, good day, guys. So today we will be doing January 2023 number one question. Right, so the number one is usually number theory, consumer arithmetic, just those two sections in your math syllabus. So the first question says, by rounding off each number in the expression below to one significant figure, estimate the value of this. So they told you to round off each number to one significant figure first. So before you do anything, you need to round off to each figure here to one significant figure. So you're going to put 108 to one significant figure. What we're going to do when we're talking about significant figures, this is your first, this is your second, and this is your third. Just now, guys. Let me just put this to a smaller thing here. Right. 1 is your first significant figure. 1 is your first significant figure, 0 is your second, and 8 is your third. They asked to one significant figure, so a line is drawn after your first significant figure. You ask yourself if the number after that line is 5 or more, it is less than 5, so it is left as 1. And then the numbers after the line turns to 0. So 108 rounded off to one significant figure is 100. Then we do the next figure, 19.72. Same thing. 1 is your first, 2 is your second. 2 is your 1 is your first significant figure, 9 is the second significant figure, 7 is your third, 2 is your fourth. So because they asked you to one significant figure, you're going to draw a line between after your 1 or your first significant figure, and then you're going to look at the image or the number after your line. Number after your line is actually 9, which is more than 5. So you have to add 1. Right, so we're going to draw again. I don't know what happened there, but we're going to draw a line between 1 and 9, because we said one significant figure. You're going to look at the digit after your line, which is 9, and ask yourself, well, is 9 5 or more? 5 or more or less than 5? 9 is obviously more than 5, so you're going to add 1 to that, to the number. You're going to add 1 to the number in front of the line. So that would be 1 plus 1 is 2. And then, as I said, guys, everything after the line turns to 0. So it'll be 2 and then 0.00, which is the same thing as saying 20.00 is the same thing as saying 20. Okay, it's understood that after a decimal point, if not stated, it's filled with zeros. Right, the next one is 5.296. Right, first significant figure is 5, second is 2, third is 9, fourth is 6. You said to one significant figure, draw a line between or after the first significant figure. Then you're going to look at the digit after the line, which is 2. You ask yourself, is that more than 5 or more or less than 5? It is less than 5, so this 5 remains as is. So now it's going to be 5.000, which is the same thing as saying 5. So now the question now becomes, right, the square root of 100, all divided by 20 plus 5. We know the square root of 100 is equal to 10, right? Divided by 20 plus 5 is 25, right? 5 could go into 10 2 times, 5 could go into 25 5 times. So the answer is 2 over 5, or if you know what is 2/5 as a decimal, which is 0.4, you can put that answer as well. And this is your answer for number 1A, part 1. Right, now let's look at part 2. Right, part 2 says find the exact value of this. So what you can do, I will do it the two methods. You can either use a calculator. So when you use your calculator, right, you tell them that you use a calculator. You're going to put 3 and 3 over 8 divided by, always put open bracket, 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3. This is how it would look in your calculator, guys. Right, and when we do that, 3 over 3 over 8. The over button is the A. You'll see a button on your calculator like this, A, B over C. This is my over button, okay? Right, over 8 divided by open bracket 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3 close bracket. Alright, the answer is, when you use a calculator, you'll get one answer, 4.5. Make sure you put your brackets, guys. If you do not put your brackets and you put a 3 over 3 and 3 eighths divided by 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3, without the brackets, you'll get something completely different. So make sure and use your brackets. Right, now if I'm going to do it manually, this, guys, is 1 mark. I don't think you should spend too much of time with a question like this, right? Unless you're really fast at doing fractions, right? So the question was 3 and 3 over 8 divided by 5 over 12 over bracket first plus 1 over 3. When we're doing these questions, we always follow BODMAS. When we follow BODMAS, it tells us the order in which we're supposed to carry out operations, right? So in this case, we have to do brackets first. Whatever's in the brackets, we will do that first. That is 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3. The LCM of 12 and 3, you're going to use 2 first, 6 and 3, then 2 again, 3 and 3, then 3, 8, 1 and 1. Right, 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12. My LCM is 12. 12 into 12 is 1, multiply by numerator of that fraction by 1. And 3 into 12 is 4, you multiply the numerator of that fraction by 4. 1 5 is 5, plus 1 4 is 4. So the answer here is 9 over 12. And please note 9 over 12 can be reduced to 3 could go into 9 3 times and 3 could go into 12 4 times. So it's 3 over 4. So now the question is 3 and 3 over 8 divided by 3/4. Now, guys, remember, yes, you can divide fractions, but you need to make sure that they are in the form A over B. It's not mixed numbers. We have to convert this mixed number to improper. A3s are 24. Right, 24 plus 3 is 27, so it's 27 over 8 divided by 3 over 4, which turns into 27 over 8. Division sign turns to multiplication, and you flip the fraction after your division sign, so it's 4 over 3. 3 into 3, 1, 3 into 27, 9, right, 4 into 4, 1, 9 into 4 into 8, 2, so the answer is 9 over 2. 2 could go into 9. 4 times, remainder, 4 2s are 8, remainder 1 for 9 over 2. So the answer for this is 4.5, which is the same answer as we got for the calculator. Right, this is the second method you would do if you're doing it manually and not with the calculator. Right, let's do this question. So now we're going to do part B. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the number of available seats in a hall was reduced from 125 to 93. Calculate the percentage decrease in the number of available seats. Right? So first off, they want the decrease. So we can find a decrease by saying if it was reduced from 125 to 93, your decrease in the number of seats, the decrease in number of seats will be 125 minus 93, which is equal to 125 minus 93. Use your calculator. You don't really need to do working for this. Just put it equal to 32. So we want to find out what percentage is 32. Now, we're talking about percentage, so we know before any increase or decrease of percentage, before any increase or decrease, right, your percentage is always 100. So if they're telling you we reduce from 125, which is our original number of seats, it's safe to say if 125 is equal to 100%, we're going to find for 32. So you're going to do the if, then, and therefore method. If 125 is 100, then 1 is equals to 100 over 125, and we want to find out how much percentage is 32 seats, which is 100 over 125 multiplied by 32. So what we should know is 25 could go into 100 and 125. So 25 could go into 100 4 times, and 25 could go into 125 5 times, right? And then it's 100 divided by 125, right? I'm using calculator. 100 divided by 125, right? Multiply by 32, right? And you will get 25.6%. And that would be the percentage for 32 seats. That is how much they decreased by. Or you can do it the next way, where you find the fraction of decreased seats. So the fraction would be 32 out of how many seats? 125. And to turn to a fraction, to a percentage, you just multiply by 100 over 1, and you're going to get the same answer of 25.6%. So this is the next way, right? And that's how you would do this question. Those are your two methods. This question, part C, they gave you the formula. All you need to do is put in the values that they gave you, right? So now we're going to look. Mecca invests a certain amount of money in the bank. Now we should know your principal is equal to amount invested. That is what the amount invested is your principal, right? Mika invested a certain amount of money in the bank that pays compound interest at a rate. So our rate here is equal to 2.5%, right? At the end of 2 years, that means our time is 2 years. And they said the value of her investment, the value of her investment, that is the amount, right? The amount total, the value of her investment is this. So that is the amount is equal, the amount of compound interest amount is equal to $7,564.50. So they are telling you calculate the amount you invested. So amount you invested is principal. So we are using this formula. They already gave you the formula. The amount invested is equal to principal, open bracket, 1 plus R over 100 to the power of N. All right. Now, total amount after N years, they told you at the end of 2 years, the value of your interest, her compound interest, was $7,564.50. So let's put that in. So $7,564.50 is equal to the principal. We don't know, so you're going to put P, open bracket, 1 plus your rate was 2.5 all over 100. Close bracket to the power of N, which is 2 years. Right, now you can do this on your calculator, guys. Doesn't matter, right? So you're going to put open bracket 1 plus 2.5 over 100, close bracket to the power of 2, right? You're going to get a decimal, you're going to get a fraction. So you're going to get 7564.50 is equals to P, and this bracket is equal to multiply by 181 over 1600. Or you could put your decimals, right? I'll stick with the fractions for now, right? So if we want to make P the subject, so if we carry across multiply by that amount, it's going to turn to divide. So it's 7564.50 divided by 181 over 1600 is equals to P. And you just do this in your calculator, guys. We're going to go 7564.5 divided by that 181 over 1600, and you'll get a flat answer of 7,200 is equals to P. So you know that the amount she invested is 7,200, and that is your answer for this question. And I think that is it for January 2023. Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this and understood everything.